Chapter number 4 is related to partial fractions. In this unit, you shall be able to understand the proper, improper, and rational fractions, and resolving an algebraic expression into linear fraction whenever its denominator consists of non-repeated linear factors, repeated linear factors, non-repeated quadratic factors, and repeated quadratic factors. These are the 4 cases we are going to discuss today. First of all, let's discuss what a fraction is. A fraction consists of two numbers, two quantities. One is numerator and other one is a denominator. The quotient of the numbers or algebraic expression is called a fraction. The quotient is indicated by a bar. We write the dividend above the bar and divisor below the bar. For example, x square plus 2 divided by x minus 2. It contains two polynomials, quadratic and linear polynomial. This is a fraction. With x minus 2 must not be equal to 0, because if it is equal to 0 it goes to infinity and the fraction does not give any result. What is a rational fraction? An expression in the form of numerator over denominator, where numerator and denominator are polynomials in x with real coefficients and denominator of x is not equal to 0. Such type of fraction is called a rational fraction. For example, x square plus 3 divided by x plus 1 whole square into x plus 2 and 2x divided by x minus 1 and multiplied by x plus 2. These are examples of rational fractions. We shall discuss the fractions in detail in the upcoming examples. Next type is proper fraction, a rational fraction where numerator and denominator divided by denominator with denominator must not be equal to 0. This is called a proper fraction if degree of the polynomial in the numerator is less than the degree of the polynomial in the denominator. For example, 2 divided by x plus 1. Here x has highest power 1 and in the numerator x has highest power 0. So numerator has lesser power than the denominator. Such type of fraction is called proper fraction. Another example is 2x minus 3 divided by x square plus 4. Here x has power 1 and x square x has power 1 in the numerator, and in the denominator x has power 2. So numerator has lesser power than denominator. Similarly, 3x square over x cube plus 1. These three are the examples of proper fraction. What is an improper fraction? Any rational fraction in which numerator has higher degree than the denominator. Such type of fraction is called an improper fraction. For example, 5x divided by x plus 2. Here x has power 1 and in the numerator and in the denominator x has power 1. So these two are same, equal to, hence it is called an improper fraction. So equal to or greater are the two conditions for an improper fraction. 3x square plus 2 divided by x square plus 7x plus 12. This is also an improper fraction. 6x power 4 divided by x cube plus 1. This is another example of improper fraction. Let's discuss the method of converting an improper fraction into a proper fraction. Resolve the fraction into proper fraction. As you can see, here we have highest power 3 in the numerator and in the denominator the highest power is 2. So we put the denominator in the inside of the division frame and we put the denominator in the outside of the division frame. By long division, upon solving it, we have x minus 1 as the quotient, x square plus 1 is the divisor, and minus 4x plus 6 is the remainder. Convert it into fraction form again. So we have x cube minus x square plus x plus 1 divided by x square plus 5 is equal to x minus 1 plus minus 4x plus 6 divided by x square plus 5. So this improper fraction is being converted into two terms. First term is x minus 1. This is an improper fraction. This is a linear factor, and the other term is minus 4x plus 6 divided by x square plus 5. As you can see that this fraction is converted into a proper fraction. The resolution of fraction into partial fractions. Any fraction can be converted into its partial fractions. Consider 1 divided by x minus 1 minus 2 divided by x plus 1, and 4 divided by x. These are the three fractions. Consider them as a set of three fractions. Each of these fractions are prefixed by a positive or negative sign. Thus, let's suppose we take 1 by x minus 1 with positive sign, 2 by x plus 1 with negative sign, and then third fraction 4 by x with a positive sign. We add up these three and they give us x square plus x minus 2x square plus 2x plus 4x square minus 4 divided by x into x minus 1 into x plus 1. We take the LCM of these three terms. After taking the LCM, we are left with 3x square plus 3x minus 4 divided by x into x minus 1 into x plus 3. This is a proper fraction. How is it a proper fraction? Because in the numerator it has highest degree of 2 and in the denominator the highest degree is 3. There are 3 x's being multiplied by each other, so they will give ultimately a cubed power. The single fraction 3x square plus 3x minus 4 divided by x into x plus 1 into x minus 1 is the simplified form of the given fractions, and it is known as a resultant fraction. The given fractions are called components of the partial fractions. In this chapter we shall given a rational fraction or a resultant fraction, and we'll have to find its partial fractions. Remember that every proper fraction with a numerator and denominator, and in which denominator should not be equal to 0, can be resolved into an algebraic sum of partial fractions. This process is being illustrated in the upcoming examples. First of all, let's discuss how to resolve an algebraic fraction into partial fractions whenever the denominator consists of non-repeated linear factors. This is case 1, or we can call it rule number 1. If linear factor ax plus b occurs as a factor of denominator, then there is a partial fraction of the form a divided by ax plus b. Here a is a constant and we'll have to find this constant. In numerator divided by denominator, in this fraction the polynomial dx may be written as dx is equal to a1x plus b1 multiplied by a2x plus b2 up to so on. These are all the factors, and consider that all of these factors are linear factors since x has power 1 in every factor. Since these factors do not have a whole power on them, so they are not repeated, they are only written once. Hence, in first case, these are non-repeated linear factors. We can write it as nx divided by dx. This is a fraction. It can be resolved into some partial fractions: a1 divided by a1x plus b1 plus a2 divided by a2x plus b2, a3 divided by ax plus b3, and up to infinity, up to so on. We can resolve as many factors as there are. Let's discuss the method of solving this situation. We'll first multiply with the denominator the entire equation number 1. Upon multiplication, these two factors cancels out with x minus 4 and x plus 2, and on the right side we have a into x plus 2 plus b into x minus 4, because in this term x minus 4 gets cancelled by x minus 4 and x plus 2 is left behind, and in this term b into x minus 4, x plus 2 is cancelled out with x plus 2. So we have another equation: 5x plus 4 is equal to a into x plus 2 plus b into x minus 4. This is equation number 2. Equation number 2 is an identity which holds good for all values of x, and hence for x is equal to 4 and x is equal to minus 2. What does this statement means? It means that we put these factors equal to 0 one by one and put it into this equation number 2, put the values of x into equation number 2 and find the results. First of all, let's put x minus 4 is equal to 0. It gives x equal to 4. So upon putting x is equal to 4 in this equation number 2, I have 5 multiplied by 4 plus 4 is equal to a into 4 plus 2. The second term goes 0 because 4 minus 4 is 0, multiplied by b it becomes 0. So 5a plus 4 is equal to a into 4 plus 2. There is only one unknown in this equation left, so we can resolve it to find the value of a. A is equal to 4 in this case. Now we put x is equal to 2, x plus 2 is equal to 0 to find the value of x, which is minus 2, and put this value of x in equation number 2 again. Repeat the same process. So 5 into minus 2 plus 4 is equal to b multiplied by minus 2 minus 4. Upon putting x is equal to minus 2, this term a into x plus 2 becomes equal to 0. Minus 2 plus 2 is 0, so 0 multiplied by a is 0. So only the term with b is left behind. Upon resolving and simplification, we get b equal to 1. So put the values of a and b in equation number 1 to get the required partial fractions. Therefore 5x plus 4 over x minus 4 into x plus 2 is equal to 4 over x minus 4 plus 1 over x plus 2. This type of method is called zeros method. It is especially useful with linear factors in the denominator dx. Second example says that resolve 1 by x minus 1 whole square into x minus 2 into partial fraction. As you can see that in this denominator, one of the linear factors are being repeated. There is 2 times of them. So what do we do here? We write 1 by x minus 1 whole square into x minus 2 is equal to k divided by x minus 1 first factor, and then that the same factor again with the higher power 1 and then power 2. So b divided by x minus 1 whole power 2 is equal to plus c over x minus 2. Repeat the same process as we did in the previous example. Multiply both sides with the denominator, with the entire denominator. We get 1 is equal to, since 1 is on the left side, so 1 is equal to a into x minus 1 into x plus 2. X minus 1 cancels out with 1 of the x minus 1, x square. So one factor is left behind, x minus 1 into x minus 2, b into x minus 2, and c into x minus 1 whole square. In the case of c, in this term, only x minus 2 gets cancelled, so x minus 1 whole square is left. Upon simplification, we get a into x square minus 3x plus 2 plus b into x minus 2 plus c into x square minus 2x plus 3. We open this whole square and multiply these two factors to get a quadratic factor. We call it equation number 1. Equation number 1 is an identity, and it is true for all values of x. So we put the linear factors 1 by 1 equal to 0 and put the value of x in the equation number 1. By putting x minus 1 equal to 0, x gives the value of plus 1. Put this value in equation number 1 and it gives b multiplied by 1 minus 2 is equal to 1. Therefore, the value of b is found out, which is equal to minus 1. Now we put x minus 2 equal to 0 and repeat the same process to get the value of c, which is equal to 1. Now the third unknown a is left, and there are no more linear factors which we can put equal to 0 and put the value of x in the equation number 1, so we use another method. In this case, we'll have to equate the coefficients of x square on both sides of equation number 1. If you can see here, x square has a coefficient a and c, so a plus c is the coefficient of x square. On the right side there is no x square, so the coefficient of x square is equal to 0 on the right side. Hence, upon equating the coefficients, we get a plus c is equal to 0, which means a is equal to minus c. So put the value of c, so a gives the value of minus 1. In this way, we find out all the 3 unknowns. Putting the values in the right here to get the partial fractions, required partial fractions. Therefore, 1 divided by x minus 1 whole square into x minus 2 is equal to 1 over x plus 2 minus 1 over x minus 1 minus 1 over x minus 1 whole square. This is the required result. Next topic is resolution of fraction when our denominator consists of non-repeated irreducible quadratic factors. Sometimes we are faced with irreducible quadratic factors which we cannot resolve into linear factors. In this case, we use a special method we'll discuss in the next slide. If a quadratic factor ax square plus bx plus c with a is not equal to 0 occurs once as a factor of denominator, the partial fraction is one of the form. It is case number 3. The example: 11x plus 3 divided by x minus 3 into x square plus 9, resolve it into partial fractions. As you can see, in the denominator we have a non-reducible quadratic factor. X square plus 9 cannot be resolved into linear factors. So what do we do in this case? We put a above the linear factor, which was x minus 3, and we put bx plus c above the non-reducible quadratic factor, which was x square plus 9. Rest is the same, multiplying both sides by the denominator x minus 3 and x square plus 9. So on the left side we have 11x plus 3, and on the right side we have a into x square plus 9 plus bx plus c into x minus 3. X plus 3 gets cancelled out with x minus 3 gets cancelled out with x minus 3, and x square plus 9 is left with a. Similarly, x square plus 9 gets cancelled out with x square plus 9, and x minus 3 is left. Therefore, we have 11x plus 3 is equal to a into x square plus 9 plus b into x square minus 3x plus c into x minus 3. Equation number 1 is an identity. So I put the linear factor equal to 0 and put that value of x equals x equal to 3 in the equation number 1 to get the value of a, one of the unknowns. So 33 plus 3, upon putting the value, 3 11 to 33 plus 3, and 3 square is 9, 9 plus 9 is 18, so 18a is equal to 36. This gives a is equal to 2. For the rest of the values, we compare the coefficients of x square and x on both sides of equation number 1. X square has coefficients a and b. So a plus b should be equal to 0 because on the left side x square has no coefficient. Therefore, a plus b is equal to 0. This gives b is equal to minus 2 upon putting the value of a equal to plus 2. So a and b has values. A is equal to 2 and b is equal to minus 2. For c, I equate the coefficients of x on both sides of the equation. So in this case, on the right side, minus 3 into b is the coefficient of x plus c. So minus 3 into b plus c is equal to 11. On the right side, x has coefficients minus 3b plus c, and on the left side x has coefficients 11. So minus 3b plus c is equal to 11. Put the value of b in this equation to get the value of c. So c gives the value 5. Put the values of a, b and c in this equation to get the unknown partial fractions. Therefore, the unknown partial fractions are 2 by x minus 3 plus minus 2x plus 5 divided by x square plus 9. This is the required result. Next case is whenever we have irreducible quadratic factors and they are also repeated in the denominators. What do we do in this case? We put ax plus b on the first power of the quadratic factor and cx plus d on the next power of the quadratic factor and ex plus f and up to so on. And the unknowns a, b, c and d are found in the previously discussed way. Such type of equations are called case 4 equations. So we have an example of case 4 equation: 2x plus 1 divided by x minus 1 into x square plus 1 whole square, and we are going to resolve it into partial fractions. As you can see, x square plus 1 cannot be resolved into linear factors, so it is an irreducible quadratic factor and it has a whole square on it, so it means that it is also repeating. Assume that 2x plus 1 over x minus 1, x square plus 1 whole square. We put the linear factor like x minus 1 and put an a above it, so a divided by x minus 1 is the first term. We put bx plus c above the first quadratic factor with power 1 whole power 1, and dx plus e above x square plus 1 whole power 2. So first power gets dx plus c and the second power gets dx plus e. Now we are going to repeat the entire process again. So multiplying both sides by the denominator x minus 1 and x square plus 1, it gives us 2x plus 1 is equal to a into x square plus 1 whole square bx plus c into x minus 1 into x square plus 1, and dx plus e gives x minus 1. This is equation number 1. Next we use zeros method. First of all, put the linear factor x minus 1 equal to 0. It gives x is equal to 1. Put this value of x in equation number 1. It gives 3 is equal to a into 1 plus 1 whole square. 2 1s are 2, 2 plus 1 3. Left side gives us 3. Similarly, if I put 1 here, 1 square 1, 1 plus 1 2, 2 square is 4. So a into 4. Now for the next term, 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So this 0 gets multiplied by this factor to give us another 0. This 0 gets multiplied by this factor and gives us another 0. So the entire term is 0. Similarly, the third term is also 0. So only the term with a is left. So a gives a value of 3 divided by 4. Now write all the equation number 1, all the terms in the equation number 1 descending order. Open the whole squares so that we can equate the coefficients. So 2x plus 1 is equal to a into x square plus 2x square, x power 4 plus 2x square plus 1 plus bx into x cube minus x square plus x minus 1 and up to so on. Upon simplification, we have a into x power 4 plus 2x square plus 1, b into x power 4 minus x cube plus x square minus x, and c into x cube minus x square plus x minus 1. D has x square minus x and E has x minus 1. Upon equating the coefficients of x power 4 on the right side are a, b. So a plus b is equal to 0, since on the left side there is no coefficient of x power 4. So a plus b is equal to 0. Put the value of a in this equation to get the value of b. So b gives minus 3 by 4. Similarly, coefficients of x cube gives us, there is no coefficient here of x cube, minus b plus c. So minus b plus c are the coefficients of x cube on the right side. On the left side there is no coefficient of x cube. So minus b plus c is also equal to 0. This gives a value of c if I put the value of b in this equation. So c is equal to minus 3 by 4. Similarly, for x square, I check all the coefficients in these terms. So x square has a coefficient 2a from this term, plus b from this term, and minus c from this term. Also there is another plus d from this term. So 2a plus b minus c plus d are the coefficients of x square on the right side. On the left side there is no x square, so left side gives us 0. So 2a plus b minus c plus d is equal to 0. Put the values of a, b and c in this equation to get the value of d. In this case d gives a value of minus 3 by 2. Next, compare the coefficients of x. There is no coefficient of x in this term. In this term there is a coefficient minus b, in this term plus c, in this term minus d, and in this term plus e. So minus b plus c minus d plus e is equal to 2. Since on the left side x has a coefficient 2. We equate the both sides to give us the equation minus b plus c minus d plus